Happy Wednesday. It's time to get after it today. Having kind of a slow start. Stayed up late researching and just doing a bunch of other stuff. So we have back day today. Biceps, chin-ups, pull-ups. Chin-ups have been struggling lately, but I took off of the chin-ups since last summer because I had taken on the pin lay row, which I love, but my lower back just can't handle the pin lay row. So I am gonna try and bring back the pin lay row after my back is completely healed. Let's get back into the deadlifts. Let's get back into the trap bar deadlifts, the sumo, and the conventional. Get some weeks in, build the strength of the back up, build some confidence, and then what I'll most likely do is I'll drop my pin lay row back to like 140 and build it up. I am happy to be doing the chin-ups again. I have no problem with the chin-ups. They're a great exercise. I don't really want to build a wide back, especially considering that I put on more weight than I wanted to in this bulk. I don't want a wide back. That's the last thing I want. I want to be lean. So gonna do them for a few weeks. It's fine. You know, chin-ups, I like them because at the same time they are an essential movement. They're a normal, natural movement. You know, we used to climb trees thousands of years ago, so it's a normal, natural, you know, body position. You know, it's an essential position. You know, you need to pull things, you need to lift yourself up on things. If you're running from someone and a dog or something, or a bunch of dogs, you need to be able to pull yourself up to jump the fence. So, you know, it's an essential movement as far as I'm concerned. But when you're at the weight that I'm at, it's not an easy movement because you know, it is one of those movements where relative strength is a factor. So I take that into account when judging my abilities. You know, if I was 50 pounds lighter, I'd be much more efficient at the movement. But I mean, I'll get back there. I don't let things like this stress me out, or I don't sweat it, because I want to be challenged anyway. I don't want it to be easy. You know, I've learned that it's the challenging things that you know, build character and build a sustainable training style. You know, if everything's easy, then, you know, you're just gonna fall off. Because if you're training and you're making everything, you're strategically making everything easy, sooner or later there's not going to be any reason for you to push harder, and you're not going to stay interested. And that's most people. So that brings me to today's topic of, if you're not going to focus on all these other problems that I was talking about the other day, the external problems, not the focus of, hey, I have to, you know, eat these kind of foods every day, I have to, you know, exercise every day. If you're not looking at the other things that are going on in your life, like who's supporting me, you know, who is checking up on me to make sure that, you know, I'm, you know, doing what I need to do, you know, holding me accountable. You know, if you're not focused on those things, you really are, you know, spitting in the wind. Because everyone, I mean, even the people that I know that are lean already, they all have to tackle these other, you know, psychological things that are going on in their life. They all have to tackle, you know, dealing with, you know, family that's not being supportive. They all have to deal with, you know, wanting to go out and do events, wanting to go out and do parties, wanting to go out and indulge and have fun and have a life outside of this. Well, as I've said before, as an endomorph, these things are much more difficult because, you know, other body types can make mistakes and still reap the benefit of progress and gains. You know, I mean, and if you're just trying to put on muscle and you don't mind being fat, then fine, okay. You know, then it's no big deal. But if you're trying to be healthy, if you're trying to have a lean physique, and that is your goal in your mind, that's what I want. I want to be lean. I want to, you know, I've never been like this. My body type is, you know, bad metabolism, whatever. I've always been like this. I don't want to be like this anymore. You are going to have to start looking at every single thing in your life. And the reason why is because all these different things, supporting cast, you know, behavior, all these things are, you know, usually eating cues for, you know, stress, all these things, you know, happiness, all these things are like eating cues for you. You know, you have to start looking at, well, why is it that I've always ate these foods? Is it because of traditions? Is it because, you know, this is the stuff that I'm used to eating, so my body just feels like I need this stuff? So you're gonna have to go inside, you're gonna have to start using a lot of thinking, you know, and then you're gonna have to start, you know, thinking and analyzing on what it is that you can do to change these behaviors. It will take research. It will take you trying to figure out more about yourself, you know, and everyone has to do that. No one can do that for you. I can sit here on these videos and run my mouth all day long, but and I could tell you what worked for me, but I cannot make your plan, your sustainable plan that will work for you based off of the things that work for me, because we're totally different people. You have to find that yourself. I can give you the guidelines. I can kind of, you know, like I said before, run my mouth and talk about what has worked for me. And I mean, and the tips work. They you know, people have said this stuff to me, and a light bulb went off, boom, okay. And then I try that, and then those things, something worked. And then there's other things where I was just like, oh, I tried it for a while and it might have worked, but it wasn't something that was sustainable, but it was all good information and it helped me learn more about myself. So, like I said, the externalities, you know, they're very important. You know, you can't just, why is it that I'm okay with getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning and walking? You know, there's other things that play into that besides like, oh, I just got to get up and walk. Why is it that I'm okay with going out and riding my freeboard? You know, something got me to that point where I wanted to do that, some kind of emotion. That's the same thing as with the eating. You know, these external things that don't have anything to do with training and caloric intake are sculpting your behavior patterns, and you have to figure out what the behavior patterns patterns need to be modified in a way for you to have new sustainable habits, fresh sustainable habits that you stick to every day. Boom, boom, boom. No matter what happens in my life, stress, I'm not going to eat the foods that I used to eat when I was stressed. Happiness, I'm not going to eat the foods that I used to eat when I was happy. You know, at least not in abundance. You know, problems with your partner, problems with family, your car breaks down. I mean, usually endomorphs are emotional eaters. I've watched them. You know, you don't become big. Okay, you may have a bad metabolism. Okay, you may not be able to process certain foods, but you still had to you still had to choose that food, pick it up, put it in your mouth. That's psychological. That's behavior. There's a reason why you choose those foods to eat. You don't have to eat those foods. You can eat fresh fruits and vegetables and get everything you need for the most part. You may have to dig into, beans and other things like that, nuts and seeds and stuff like that to get your protein intake, adequate protein intake. But as far as like healthy, you can eat fruits and vegetables every day and get the majority of your stuff. You get your starches in there, sweet potatoes, bananas, those type of things, carrots, corn, different things like that. The heavier carbohydrate quantity vegetables and starches. You get your leafy greens. You get your onions and different things like that, your berries, your juicier fruits, apples, different things like that, strawberries. If you eat that stuff full time, you will get all the nutrients that you need. So you don't need to eat pastries and crappy food. You don't even need that stuff. That's a choice. That is a choice. It's a choice and it's your behavior that has got you into the mindset of, oh, I need to eat those foods for nutrients. I need to eat these kind of foods to feel, you know, satisfied and satiated. Happy Wednesday.